Hey, how's it going, everybody? Haven't done a video here in a little while. Haven't been feeling too good lately. A lot of pain and stuff. I'm dealing with kind of chronic type pain. Anyways, finally feeling better. So I am going to try and get out tomorrow and check out my swap meet, which will probably still have nothing, as it's been the same people every time I have gotten out. But do have this nice Commodore system to show you guys that I got from my buddy Jim, and then just a handful of games. But since I don't have that much to show, got to tell you about the last weekend that I got out when I was doing the yard sale and when I picked up the Commodore. Is I got it on a Saturday, so me and my buddy Jim were both out, so I had to wait till he was done with his yard sale and then meet him at his house. But ran all over the place, wore myself out to the point where I was just hurting all over from this chronic shit that I've been having. And finally, last stop. I mean, this just ended it for me, man. So, oh fuck it, man. At least I can go over to gym and spend my money on something cool. This dude at the yard sale, he had all kinds of sports memorabilia, but he was one of those old guys that just treated his yard sale like he had his own little store in his fucking garage, and had his cabinets full of just baseball, football collectibles like bobbleheads and stuff. He had some action figure type things for baseball and football that were still in the packages, which right away I saw he priced everything, and some of the prices were just insane. Like the action figures, they were like $30 and up for ones that somebody probably found at Hastings yesterday. So it's like I was getting discouraged, and then I looked over the counter, and on the floor he had a box full of Super Nintendo games, and I couldn't see any prices on them yet because they were all upright. But I saw some damn good games in there, so it's like, oh shit, I do gotta look at these. So it's like, hey, can I look at the games? Oh yeah, go ahead. I already got them all priced out. Fuck. Start looking at them. The cheapest games he had were $10 for games to where you could go to the most expensive retro store and get them for under $5, man. They were like sports games, and he had $10 on them because they're old games. He's one of those type of people. And I'm thinking what he did was get on eBay for every one of the games, found the highest possible price that somebody wanted for it, and then added on a few bucks. So just to mention one of the games he had in the box, which I already had it, but this game, whoever had this collection, I don't know where he picked it up from, but whoever had this collection took damn good care of their stuff. All these games were just in pristine condition. Just no boxes or manuals, just the carts. But he had Super Mario All-Stars. He wanted $40 just for the cartridge at a yard sale. Like somebody's got $40 to spend on a game cart at a fucking yard sale. And that wasn't the most expensive one. You had some Zelda games in there, and I didn't even bother looking at them. Once I saw that, I was like, oh, fuck. But the Zelda games, one of them I saw $50 for a Zelda game that it could be one of the hard to find ones. It could be one of the easy to find ones, but still he wanted $50 because it was a Zelda game. So anyways, that discouraged the hell out of me. Got me kind of ticked off because he wasn't going to back down on his prices. Oh, I looked them up. That's what they're going for, so that's what I want. I ain't gonna back down. I ain't gonna let anybody rip me off. It's like, yeah, dude, because you're already doing it to everybody. There's nobody left to rip off. So anyways, as I'm walking out, man, look over in a corner. Oh, fuck. Another box of games, this time N64. This time, because it was just me and another dude there, and the other guy, the only thing he had cheap was DVDs and music CDs. And I think he had some cassette tapes. That was the only thing anybody was looking at because everything else was just priced way high. So obviously I had time to show me this box. It's like, no, you can look through this. Even that it's sitting here with the stuff I have for sale, I'm not ready to sell it yet. Then why the fuck do you have it sitting there? But it's like, well, I haven't priced any. I haven't looked these up to price them out yet. So it's like, ah, fuck, I might as well look at him and see what he's got. Maybe one of them he fucked up on, or I can just throw out a number and he'll go for it, which he didn't. It's like, instead of letting me look through the box this time, he takes a handful out. And, God. I'm not into Zelda. I don't like role play type games, or just I don't like those kind of games. It's just, I didn't grow up with them, so it just doesn't do anything for me. But for you Zelda fans out there, let's say it's the one that's the gold cart with the holographic sticker that everybody fucking wants. That was the first one he showed me. It's like, oh fuck, I don't even like Zelda, but I want to give you some money for it. And he's like, oh, I don't want to sell it yet until I know what it's worth. It's like, okay, fuck you. So I left and started getting ready to go to my buddy Jim's to pick up the Commodore, and Jim was still out running around. So I said, hey man, before you get home, is this guy's close to your house? Check him out in about an hour. I will find something to do, but let it sit for a while because nobody's gonna spend the money he's wanting, and maybe he will back down if they sit there a while. Sometimes they will do that if they're batshit crazy. They'll see that nobody wants to pay their prices, and then they'll finally break down and give a better deal. So anyways, used my advice, went over there, and like I say, last time it was just me and another dude. So obviously, he had a lot of free time on his hands to look up some of the games that he figured were good. First one Jim sees, as he did the same thing, was the Zelda game. He wanted $75 just for the loose cart. It was the same thing. All loose carts, no boxes, instructions, or anything. And he wasn't going to back down. So it's like both of us left bummed out. And that was the only place I saw some good retro games. So there you go. That's why I just haven't had much incentive to get out again for yard sales. It's getting fucking crazy, man. You could say, fuck Storage Wars, fuck Pawn Stars, fuck all these goddamn channels that these ignorant people are watching and making it look like this stuff is gold. Just because it's old doesn't mean it's valuable. Let's keep it at that. But this one is. So, lucked out yesterday, man. Stopped over at Video Game World that my buddy John and his wife own and run. And he'd had somebody that brought in a Virtual Boy, which unfortunately has the same problem mine had. The screen's messed up on it, so it needs to have that major repair done. Which, I'm just going to be a paranoid fuck on it. I don't want to touch another one. I finally had to repair the other screen on mine as both sides went out. So got one side repaired, and then just sitting on the shelf, the other one crapped out. So now mine is fully repaired. It will never do that again, as I did it the hard way, where you roll a ball of solder back and forth on that ribbon cable to solder it in place instead of reglue it. So, say it's permanent now, but man, it's a major freaking job. It just makes you jittery because it's so freaking touchy on screwing it up. I mean, one little mistake and you're fucked. So I got lucky. But anyways, out of all the games that he had with his Virtual Boy, it's Wario Land. Really cool game on the Virtual Boy, and one that I've been wanting. So I said, hey man, if it's just going to be sitting in your system, I would love to have this game. So he said, hey, just give me one of yours. And I only have 3 games. I haven't found any more. But the only game I really like is Tellero Boxer. Mario Tennis is okay, but it gets old. So I kept that one in Tellero Boxer and gave him my virtual pinball one or whatever it is. And he was happy with that. And then I gave him some other stuff he needed with it, just to make the deal good. I think this is about a $30 game, so I didn't want to just outright give him a cheaper game for it. I like to make the deal right, so both of us are happy. Fun game. Plays like the original Super Mario Brothers on the NES. Just different guy. You're playing as the bad guy, Wario, so you got a little bit different on your power-ups, but pretty much the same type of thing. It's pretty cool. Finally got a good one. Now for another really good game, which I gotta call up GameStop and complain that I didn't get my free bottle of Xanax with this. Does he fucking need it? Or some other kind of antidepressant. Is this game? It's a great game. I loved it. This is one where I don't stay up early as all hell in the morning playing a game unless I really get into it. This just sucked me into it because it just kept getting better and better and better, but it's also really fucking depressing. I mean, from the start to the end, it's just depressing. But definitely one worth picking up. Got The Last of Us for PS3. So the only thing I didn't like about it, fortunately, you don't have the guy with you through the whole fucking game. There's a part where the dude that's standing there or whatever, that's basically saving the girl, taking her where she's got to go. He's got this buddy that's one of those recluse types, just gun crazy type nuts. Has himself all barricaded in and shit, and you got to go through all of his traps and stuff to find them. Anyways, or survivalist type, the crazy type of survivalist type of person. Anyways, you finally find the guy. He should have just listened to the girl when he said, when the guy's all, follow me, follow my ass, or stay on my ass. I think that's what it was, stay on my ass. And she's all, oh, can't miss it. She kept throwing in fat jokes because he's a pudgy dude and he's the survivalist. But, the guy is fucking annoying. It's like, one of the monsters, I'm not going to say which one, but one of them, you have to be really, really quiet and sneak around to get around these things, or they will just start attacking you, and then you got to use up ammo, which you could have conserved to kill the damn things, because they're not the easiest to kill. There is one way to do it fast, but if you don't have the thing to do that with, you're fucked. You got to use your ammo. So anyways, while you're trying to hide from it, this fucker's running back and forth from hiding spot to hiding spot, making all this noise, attracting the damn monsters towards you. Let alone, the girl pretty much does the same thing. She'll occasionally stay with you when you're hiding, but a lot of times you'll see them there in the background, running around and stuff, man, while you're trying to hide from these things. So that's one of the things that's just fucking annoying. If they're going to make it to where you got to hide from something, let you hide from something. Don't have somebody to distract things to make it worse or whatever. Otherwise, great game. Just why is it always got to be loaded full of rednecks when it's a game like this, end of the world? Like they're the only fuckers that are going to survive. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, if something like that happens, the first ones going to be going are the Ducks Dynasty looking motherfuckers that are going to shoot each other, and then the zombies will win. I don't get it. I don't get the whole redneck thing in those type of games. Oh well, there's my rant. Got a couple more here to show you guys that I got for the Wii. This one I also got from my buddy John. Brand new. Just played a little bit of it. He had a Wii hooked up at his store, so I checked it out while I was there. Looks as fun as the original. Got Epic Mickey 2, Power 2, and it's like brand friggin' new. Somebody brought it and didn't like it. And this one, I don't think I've shown this yet in another video. I found it in a box, so I'm thinking I might have just tossed it in the box out of the way when I was moving shit and just forgot about it. But I think I got this one at my swap meet for a couple of bucks or so. Anyways, it's called Counterforce. It looks kind of like a rail type shooter where you got a robot flying around. One of those types where you're just pointing and shooting. Looked fun enough. And not as newish looking as Epic Mickey, but pretty damn close. Only thing I've seen on this disc is fingerprints, so another one that didn't get played much. So now for the Commodore. Show you guys the system here first. Had to open up this, and I also had to open up the disk drive and blow out all the dust. I mean, it had a lot of dust in it. Whoever took care of this obviously had it out on display, so the outside was pretty damn clean. Just a few little marks that I had to go over with a magic eraser. Otherwise, really clean, well taken care of. Just real dirty on the inside from setting. And this, it wasn't horrible, it was just tedious, because you got to take it all apart, and then you got to take out the part that has your keys on it, which got a lot of little screws that can get easily lost. So I recommend like having like a beer crate type box to set this in, or just have a toweling on your table so if any screws get dropped, they won't bounce off something hard and hopefully not fall on the floor, because there's some that are really tiny. Otherwise, not too hard. And if you have any of these keys fall out, that means it's broke. There's something definitely broke. Because once you take it apart, all of these are fitted into one piece of plastic, so you just flip that over and go over the little tabs on the bottom of them that are for the contacts with just air swab and some alcohol. Now this thing works like it's brand new. But, put it off for a bit. I didn't get this recently. I got it a good month ago. And I had it in pieces until I found out my Radio Shack was closed and not coming back. And I have no idea if there's still a Radio Shack in Bullhead or Havasu, so I may be screwed on getting parts. But I was wanting to do the little mod that you jump off of this slot here. You just jump it off a couple of the pins to put on a reset button. I did that on my other Commodore that's boxed. It just makes it so you don't have to turn it on and off every time you want to play a game. You just hit the button, boom, you're ready to load up another one. So anyways, really good condition on that. This heavy ass friggin' thing. Really freaking heavy thing, man. This sucker's a beast. And I had a Commodore when I was a kid. I had a 128, and I had the disk drive that I believe is up from this one. It's more of a bone white, chalk white color, flatter. And it didn't have this kind of a lever thing. It had that little flip lever. Anyways, this is an original 1541, and it is in awesome shape. All I had to do was blow the dust out and then show you here just on the condition. Say, man, just awesome shape. All this stuff was just well taken care of. Oh, and by the way, plug there, that is the same type that you have on a regular old computer, so you can use that same type of cable and just plug in the back of this, boom, you got power. It doesn't have an external power supply. I can't really remember because it goes back too far, but I don't know if my disk drive had the same kind of cord or if it had an external like the Commodore itself. Otherwise, just bigger and flatter. But this one, when you pop the disc in, pull down this lever here, and then it kind of pops out a bit. Which I got to open it up and put some oil in there. It's kind of spring loaded. And I'll show you. Yeah, you can see it on the sides there. There's a couple little pins. It's made so when it pops out, it just hits this top lip here and keeps it from going back. And that locks the disc in. Otherwise, if you pop the disc in and then push down on that, what it's going to do is eject it. Which that was throwing me at first. I kept thinking, oh, it must be different where you just pop in the disc and you're ready to go. So like I say, mine had the little flip switch. On cleaning it, just take the screws out the bottom, lift off this top piece, and then there's another piece of metal shielding that you take off. That will expose the head for reading the disc at. And on that, I don't know what you'd call it other than like a little tension type thing that puts tension on the diskette to push it against the head. Anyways, that's spring loaded so you can lift up just enough to where you can get in there on the tape head and clean it with just regular old rubbing alcohol and an air swab. That's all I did other than blowing out all the dust with canned air. This thing loads every time now. And it works like it's brand new. Now before I show you guys the monitor, as the monitor looks just as good as everything else, I'll show you what games I have. I can't remember if I've shown this or not. It would have been on a vid years ago, as I've had it for a while. Anyways, ironic, the first Commodore game that I find in this small little city of Kingman is the first game that I got when I was a kid. It's RoboCop, and I love the arcade game. I love it on the NES. I swore like a fucking banshee. A banshee with fucking hemorrhoids screaming at the top of its lungs when I played this game, and now that I've gotten to play it again, I was still swearing at the screen. It is an absolute bitch. They made it to where it's like the first level. You got to find the little jars of baby food to keep him alive as your health meter is gradually going down. And then you're also getting shot at, which is making it go down even faster. And they'll give you just enough to get through the level. So if you miss one or get shot at too much, you're dead. So you're constantly starting over again, man. And I hate repetitive stuff. Otherwise, if you can find it for cheap, it's worth it. It is the original RoboCop game. Otherwise, same thing on these two games. I don't know if I've shown them or not. The other two are by Mastertronic. They were one of those companies that made a lot of budget games. Some would suck, some would be good. Let's see. Yeah, one of them I have the instructions for here. Okay, that's the shitty one. This one actually is not bad. Storm. And what's crazy, when I looked this up, pretty much all I could find was the tape cassette version of it. I couldn't find it on floppy. And it was always from like England or whatever. But it reminds me of a couple of arcade games. One of them that they had on Atari and stuff. In fact, they did have them both on other systems. Say Berserk for how it goes from screen to screen and kind of how they do the maze part of it. And you are shooting. And then Gauntlet. And maybe another game. But definitely a lot like playing Berserk and Gauntlet if they had crazy sex together and then had spawned the child or whatever, man. A turd minion, whatever, man, because it's medieval and then robot. A robotic turd minion, whatever. Otherwise, if you guys can find this on diskette or tape and have the means to play it, not a bad game. Mind me if I'm talking fucking crazy. I'm really tired, man. It's getting late. I always end up doing my damn videos late. Anyways, the other one here, Prowler. And this one's a really weird type flight simulator, and it's like, I don't like these kind of games where you have to have the joystick and the keyboard. It's like, pick one. Because it's a real pain in the ass to go from one to the other while you're being shot at. But it's one of those type where you're flying around or whatever and you're taking out tanks and stuff, so alright, but not great. If you're into them, it might be worth picking up. Otherwise, not the best. Hopefully, since I've gotten a lot of the stuff that I never thought I'd find from my buddy John, hopefully somebody will finally bring in some more games. I do have a cartridge for Commodore, but it's not a game. It's one of those music type ones. Music, I think it's called just Music Composer, and it's fucking pathetic. And it's like something that you get a toy for a 5-year-old. I mean, it's really pathetic on how it is. So, I'll show you guys this monitor here. And did already have a monitor. Hence, like I said, I already have a Commodore that's in the box. That one's going to stay in the box, so it stays minty looking. But the other monitor I have, man, it's beat to shit. It still works, but it looks like shit. It was really abused a lot. Yeah, it's break stuff. This one, man. This all I have to do is just wipe it down. And it works beautifully. It's really, really clean. All it had on it was some marks from it being stored in a closet with drywall. That's usually the marks that you'll find on stuff like this, where it's been stored in somebody's closet forever and it's been rubbing up against the wall from them jamming stuff in around it. And all that came off with a magic eraser. And on the date, as this thing's the only one thing that's got a date on it, it's November 1984. Man, still got to wipe down the back of it a little bit. Even the sticker on it practically looks new. Oh, something else to bring up that some people may not know. Show you the cables here for the drive in the video. This is what you need for the disk drive. So if you don't have this, man, you may be screwed. I don't know where you'd find one of these other than like eBay, and hopefully they're selling you the right one. But that's the link to the system. But I got video cables with it, which fooled me, man, because it's the right colors. But anybody looking at this is going to see red, white, and yellow and figure, oh, it's composite video. But on this composite, there's only 2 jacks on the front. One for video and then one for mono sound. It's only going through 1 speaker on top of this. But that's not composite. It goes to the back. So I guess they had 2 different cables, because some people say they got composite video cables. Anyways, on the back of it, it's got white for audio, and then yellow for luma, and red for chroma. Otherwise, still real sharp picture when I'm playing a game. So now that I'm almost up to 30 fucking minutes, creeping up there, 26 minutes, I say bye to you guys, and I'm going to try and get out tomorrow to the swap meet, but I don't know if I'll be doing another video for a while, because it's just been really abysmal. So pretty much just been waiting for my buddy Jim to find stuff. He's out every weekend unless he's sick or has an appointment, and he gets up bright and early, and a lot of times he'll know the person, so he'll call him ahead of time and pick this stuff up. But he seems to be finding stuff lately, so if he finds anything, I might snag something from him and show it to you guys, or my other buddy John at Video Game World if he gets anything cool in. It's been kind of slow for him too. The Virtual Boy's been the only cool thing he's gotten in the last couple of months. So, catch you all later.